As of right now, Rita's salary is what? Is it what Angie's was?
As of July 7th, when they had the caucus, even though the caucus was a day later, we put her at assessor pay. We were done on that date.
Okay, then what did we do with Kim then at that time?
We put her to chief deputy then.
So you've drawn chief deputy pay since July 7th of what Rita was drawing a year prior.
Right. The issue we're having, and I did find the April 30th letter. Rita brought a letter in that said that they wanted to be paid 95% of the pay. That's the day that the $750 was brought on. If we do it the way Jim Bateman says, it's a huge amount. Even at 95%, Rita would have made $820 more at 95% of Angie's pay. And Kim, going from her pay to Rita's pay at the time, would have been $966 difference for just those 5 pays. At that time, Consul did not approve $750 for Kim, only at Rita with a refactor with the job description changes at a later date. And that's from the April 30th note I had on the letter that Rita brought in. So the way Jim Bateman thought it was going to be done is above and beyond the $750 that was given to Kim. And like he said in the thing, assume that's the way it'd be done.
Okay,
And that's not the way.
Okay, on dates now. As of July 7th, they were getting the pay that we intended them to
We're
have.
good at July 7th.
Okay. What was the date then that they started doing these jobs and Angie was gone? Now, did Angie take some vacation time or do anything or?
Yes.
Oh.
Angie's been physically gone from Whitley County since April 30th. She left work 2 weeks before that and didn't come back in.
Okay, so April 30th, these two current assumed the jobs as assessor and deputy assessor, right?
Correct.
Okay,
And
then,
there was 5 pays in between, and we paid Rita the $150 per pay as an increase,
okay.
but never did anything.
Then the other question I guess I have is between April 30th and July 7th, did we say that we were going to pay assessor and deputy assessor salaries retroactively to April 30th?
That's the way I remember. Yes.
Well, then the question I think we have is, what do we owe from April 30th through July 7th in retroactive pay?
I think you're right.
I mean, I don't know if we ever took a vote, but did we agree that we was going to do that retroactively or not? Or is that just something I suggested and we never really
We
decided
had
on?
discussion on it, but no vote.
I do remember the discussion. That was the way I remember.
Well, according to my recollection, I favored paying retroactively
So when they started, yeah.
to when they started. I mean, that's what I support, but
Can you run a number on that for us, Ben? Please. And it would be, would you want to then take the $750 that
No, that was
Rita
95%.
was paid and deduct that out of
I
retroactive
think if
pay?
they were paid, that should be part of what the retroactive pay. I mean, I think that should be
Right.
part of it.
So,
I think
okay.
that's only fair. Do you think that's fair?
That's fair.
I mean, I think whatever anybody was compensated, whatever the number comes up to make it, let's say it was $2,750 and somebody got $750, we owe them $2,000.
Right, but the other $750, that has to come back in. I mean, we have to show that we address that. And even if she's to get a big lump sum, Kim is, then she can just turn around and write a check to the county.
Well, I don't know whether that's the way to correct the paperwork, or to me, you're just taking it out and putting it in.
I'm sorry, but I don't
mean,
want
I don't
that
know
on
whether
my
it's right
hands.
or whether it's
I
wrong.
want that on my hands. But, so that would mean that we'd have to redo that vote, because everybody agreed that that should come back at the last meeting.
Well, I think the question is,
What date did-
are we gonna pay to April 30th,
April
retroactively? I mean, are we agreeing that we wanna do that? I support it, but that, I'm not gonna speak for anybody else.
July
I do
7th,
too.
there's 5 pays.
And I think if we do that, and I know what Paula's saying about paperwork, right?
You're trying to make a clean,
Clean thing.
Yeah, that's right.
And if that pay comes over and above the $750, yeah, fair, and then she goes back to $750.
Right.
What-
And I know,
Kim, what do you think about that? In an effort to clean it up?
You gotta do what you gotta do as far as paperwork goes. And I understand that, and I would never want anybody in any position where State Board of Accounts is gonna come in and say, you know what, you did this illegally, no matter who it is. You gotta do what you gotta do there, but I mean, I'm fine with whatever you have to do. I can't afford you to take, if you deny any kind of retro pay, I'm telling you, I cannot afford for you to take $750 out of my next paycheck. I can't do that. And legally, I don't think you can in one lump sum. It's 25%.
Well, I don't think we would have done it in one lump sum.
So-
Right, we were gonna leave it up to you as what.
But Jenny, you don't have any rough numbers, do you? Or
Well,
Pam?
it's pretty close here. When we were gonna do the 750, Rita was gonna make 820 at 95% of Angie's pay, and Kim was gonna make
66.45.
Oh, is this Kim's?
Yes.
Okay,
And the dealer gave her $750.
I still don't think.
right.
I'm a little disturbed, just to be honest with you. I'm one member on a 7-board member here. That we have some guys that are willing to come up there and actually tell you what they told you and not having the backing of the council. That disturbs me as a member of this council. I feel a little bit like Paula. I think it needs to be straightened up, and it needs to be straightened up the right way. I think you need to be compensated for the work that you've done. There's no doubt about that, because that's only fair. But for somebody, members of this council, to go up and tell you that you're gonna be compensated for your work, and we voted it down, that we wasn't gonna give you money right up front until we seen what was happening. I think our big things was what Rita hadn't got her level 3 yet, so we couldn't actually do anything until she had her level 3. And I think that's what we was voting on at the time, that we wanted to make sure that she was gonna get that. So as I understand it now, she has it, correct?
She has her level 3, and actually, she was just sworn in yesterday afternoon.
So what we need to do now, Paula, I feel that we need to figure out
What they're actually
what
doing.
their actually time period was from the time that we didn't pay them their wage for that extra time in between, from time Rita was a level 3 till that past date. You understand where I'm coming from? And to make it fair.
And that's what we owe her.
That's right.
And by the same token, because mistakes were made, we paid her $750. I'm assuming that figure you're talking about is gonna be greater than $750.
Well, I would think
And
so.
then
Okay,
from that,
the
you can
difference
pay us
between
back
the
the
the pays for Kim for the 5 weeks is exactly, she's doing her $1,315.35. Take away the 750, it's $565.35. For Rita, it's $1,231.20, and she already got her 750, so her difference would be $481.20.
Well, hers didn't come into this. I mean, she get.
Yeah, you're gonna wanna do it. Same thing, yeah. Now, all right, and I can say that as long as this compensation is not for dealing with 100 property cards versus 50 property cards, and that it's for actually acting as chief deputy from May 1 till that she started receiving chief deputy pay, then I think she should receive chief deputy pay. Okay?
That's what-
But I don't agree with it just because we're working so hard, we've been short-staffed, because we could hear that from a dozen offices at any given time. And because most offices run short-staffed in this county.
Yeah, but we do it. We sit down and refactor them a lot of times because of that.
Well, we don't have a lot of refactors. I mean, what, 2 or 3 since I've been here in 2 years? And that was to catch up for the ones that you hadn't done. So, but that's how you're supposed to do it. You're supposed to look at the job duties, and you're not supposed to, I don't care if you're dealing with 1,000 envelopes today and 2,000 envelopes tomorrow, that does not mean that you should receive an increase in money. Just means that you have to work faster. So I just wanna make sure that's clear for any other situation that may arise after this.
Jim, was you making a motion to that effect? Of us going back and pay them,
I'll make a motion, we do that.
and I'll second that, because I think that's the answer.
Okay, we have a motion and second, exactly what
But
is.
do we also have to anticipate, not only that to be part of the motion, but she's gonna pay, from that, she's gonna pay back the $750.
And Rita's back pay is deducted $750.
And those figures are,
You add as when she became the pay at assessor pay for Rita, no more comp. Or you want that
Oh.
second?
Well, when
So-
you're managing people, she became, according to the FLSA, she became exempt to earning comp time.
Okay, then she can talk to me.
Yeah,
Because I know from doing the last of the comp sheets,
you don't as auditor earn comp time. You see what I mean? I mean, it's like certain people, she should have never carried that on with her because she's a supervisor and she meets the requirements by the government. That the county does not have to give her comp
okay,
time.
sorry.
Pam, I wanna make sure everybody understands this motion and the money different way, so we get this straightened out
Exactly,
once
thank
and
you,
for all.
Tom.
So we don't have to come back and make sure the minutes are correct and the money's correct. So we don't have to go through this again. Cause I think it was a little bit of a mistake on the council, we assumed, but the
Yeah.
motion said, and we gotta do what the motion says
Right.
to be legal, but I'm not sure the motion says what we assumed.
okay. And
Should the motion have a dollar amount in it?
that's what I'm getting
And I'll keep the sheets. I'm writing this sheet.
at. All right. It shows a difference with Kim, $263.07 times 5 comes up to $1,315.35. Deducting the $750 shows that we owe $565.35.
Okay, now to make the book straight, does she have to recompensate the county of $750 and we pay the full amount to keep everything straight, or not? I'm asking you.
Kim, once you got that check, do we have your word that you would reimburse the county that $750 out of that check?
Yeah, but, of course, but I
Okay.
mean, my question is, can't you just deduct it, or do you have to give it to me?
No,
I don't
State
think
Board of
it's legal.
Accounts was like,
We have to bring it back.
that
because
needs
there
to
was
come
no
back,
motion
and it
to
covers
bring
Jen's,
It covers me too because the writing up of the thing, I
Yep.
have
Yep.
justification from the thing, but when you put the tabled minutes, even me putting in the minutes, retro and paying comp and all that does not specifically account for the $750 that was paid out, even though I did that. So yes, I say yes.
That'll clear up, that would clear it all.
That would make everything
And
clean.
that's fine, but now it's gonna come to me in the form of a check, as in coming to me twice, until, obviously, and yes, of course I will pay you back, but I mean, you're gonna give it to me when I've already received it once, you're gonna give it to me in a check, and then I have to
yes, I know it seems, but that's the way it needs to be done.
Okay.
Cause then, if State Board of Accounts comes in and says, what's this for, blah, 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 Jen can say it was a mistake, it should have been handled as a payroll correction error all along, and then they can show us where the deposit came in, and
Can we
it'd be
do
clear.
it as a one-time pre-tax
If she's,
payroll deduction?
if she's gotta write a check back to us of $750, we have to do it at one time.
You wanna credit out all her unemployment accounts, anything that you took
Taxes,
back
yeah.
from her.
Yeah.
You want to do a payroll credit, so that you are basically, if she got so much for perf for that $750, that should not have happened, that perf does not belong there, so you have to go through, and Pam, I know you know how to handle that and make sure it's clean, but
But it's gonna happen, I agree with what she's saying, we're gonna pay her the big amount of 12/31, 13/15/31, and perf is gonna come out of all that again.
right,
That's the way, but the $750, it's all gotta be credited back in.
right.
So it has to be done twice, I'm looking at, cause that came to me, it was in with my payroll.
Right,
So.
And this one will be with your payroll as well.
Just gotta make sure they don't get all that stuff credited back.
Well, yes,
Well,
Who's
this isn't for this meeting, the details,
we can work it out with the payroll.
Pam will make sure, I'm confident that it gets handled correctly.
Okay, good.
And the second portion of this is with Rita. It shows a difference of 246.24 times 5, coming up to 1231.20. She has received the 750, you deduct the 750, it comes out to 481.20.
Yeah, now Rita's, we
That-
can do it that way.
Okay, those are the numbers in addition to the motion, correct?
That part of your motion, Jim?
Yes.
We have a motion and we have a second. Do we have any additional discussion?
Pam, are you, there, Kim, that, you understand it all correctly?
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you.
Those in favor of the motion signify by your right hand. Those opposed, the same. It's settled?
So,
Thank you.
I don't wanna hear about this again.
All right.